Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is ATIAH NAZIHAH binti AHMAD YASRAN. The next is objective. There are three objectives for our topic, which is the first is to provide legal and ethical exposure to society. Two, to deliver impact of legal, ethical, illegal and unethical to society. The last one, to make sure the understanding of society towards legal, ethical, illegal and unethical.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is ABDUL HANAN. So, right now I will explain about legal and ethical. What is legal? Legal is a standard set for in governmental laws. All statutes that are presented by lawyer are legal standards. An act is lawful when performed in accordance with the laws governing a particular nation, state, nation, or territories. Law are created by a country's judicial system. The function of law are to ensure that peace, social order, and justice are maintained in every corner of its territory. Laws will give protection to the all society and its interests. People who break the laws that are being created by the government will get punished accordingly. Punishment will involve fines, penalties, or imprisonment. So, what is ethical? Ethical does not necessarily have a legal basis. They actually are based on principle of right and wrong. An ethical act is based on ideal of human desirability and a set of universal principles. By drawing the line between right and wrong, good and bad, and moral and immoral, this value help direct a particular society. Tough abstract in nature, ethical standards are the code of conduct that people have generally adopted and agreed on. It is through this that individuals are taught how to behave in such circumstances. So, what is the difference between legal and ethical? This is an unquestionable reality. Several things are being scrutinized today to determine whether they are legal or ethical. The relationship between these terms is quite evident since many laws were created on the basis of ethical standards. In addition, there are cases where a legal act is deemed unethical or where an ethical act is deemed illegal. An action shall be considered legal as long as it does not infringe any existing laws in force in a given jurisdiction. By contrast, an act is ethical if it does not disagree with any moral or code of conduct that society or organization perceive. A legal act applies to all members of society where specific laws are thus enforced. Compliance with these laws is compulsory. It is often voluntary to observe ethical standards as they are usually based on individual perception of what is right or wrong. Additionally, the laws are codified, typically in the constitution of country. By contrast, ethical standards are often abstract without any written wording. Now, we move to legal, ethical, and social impact on society. Each technology development have a positive and negative impact on society. ICT, for example, offer faster and more effective means of storing and retrieving information, but at the same time suffer on a wide scale from the thief of copyrighted materials, software, data, music, video, and so on. The internet provides instant access to all kinds of useful fingertip information, but at the same time suffer from negative impact. For example, download, plagiarism, copy, stealing, illegal upload, and misuse of intellectual property. Communication technology through e-commerce and online transaction has made trade, investment, business simpler and unraveled, but suffer from sabotage, cybercrime, hacking, loss, and forgery. The internet has made the whole world a small intellectual village, but at the same time, it is contaminated with horrid content such as pornography, spam, worms, and virus. It is therefore high time the legal and ethical aspect of ICT were carefully inspected, as there are not enough guidelines available in this area compared to those available in conventional science of technology branches. There are 5 legal and ethical issues in information technology. There are
First is privacy. Many people have their personal data distributed all over the digital globe. Even things thought to be secure can be accessed from unintended sources, such as email or private account. Many employees are constantly monitoring computing activities of their workers. Privacy has changing legal implications, but ethical considerations are also present. Do the people know how they monitor their account? To what extent is such surveillance taking place? Privacy concerns can easily become a slippery slope, completely eroding a person's right to privacy. Second, digital ownership. Digital media have permitted information to flow freely than before. It comes with a legal and ethical backlash to this exchange of ideas. How do you establish ownership in the digital realm? Stuff can be easily copied and pasted online, which make it difficult to protect intellectual property. Legal notions like copyright struggle to keep up with digital times. Companies in the music and film industry have pressed for greater legal security of intellectual property, while other advocates have sought to provide greater space for the digital. Next, data gathering. Everyone at some level knows that their life online are being monitored. In the name of national security, the United States has even passed legislation that allows the government to actively monitor private citizens. Such step became a controversy about what information should be gathered and why. This argument also occurs on a smaller scale, as businesses need to decide what details their workers need to obtain. This topic evokes a constant question: do people know what information they are monitoring? Should they have a right to know how they use their data? Fourthly, security liability. Security problems have been solved in the past by locking a door. Considerably more complicated is digital security. In order to secure sensitive information and valuable properties, security systems for digital network are computerized. However, this increased protection comes with increased supervision. All security systems have inherent threats, which mean what are permissible threats and what freedoms can be forfeited. In the end, IT professionals need to balance risk with freedom to create a security system that is both efficient and ethical. Last but not least is excess cost. The issue even extends to private use of the internet, since service costs may be prohibitive in some areas. The big ethical question is whether digital sharing is now a human right or not. Excess costs can inhibit business growth, entrepreneurial spirit, and personal expression.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuralia binti Cik Muhammad Shukri. I will present my part, which is illegal and unethical,
Before that, I will tell you the meaning of illegal and unethical. Illegal is a description for something that is in violation of statute, regulation, or ordinance. Illegal does not necessarily mean criminal. Something may be illegal under a statute that doesn't require criminal intent and is therefore a civil violation subject to civil penalties such as a fine. While the meaning of unethical is lacking moral principles, unwilling to adhere to proper rules of conduct. As you know that the law authority is the decisive factor in an illegal act. The deciding agent is the conscience of the individual for an unethical act. An unethical behavior can be contrary to morals but not to the law. It is much easier to detect unlawful conduct due to the clean side of the law. Unethical behavior is hard to identify as well, since people can disagree on whether or not anything is ethical. Ethics may be different from one person, but the law is the law, with the same rules to be followed by all. In an organization, legislation is a set of rules which the ruling governments advocate and enforce to discipline society. Here, the moral codes established by an organization based on the society's culture are ethics. For example, a person may build or write a program in the digital world that will have negative implications for the future of the social system. It may be immoral, but it cannot be illegal until the system has been planned, introduced, and caused the adverse effects. Unethical actions in jobs may include any activities that breach laws, such as hacking or misuse of personal data. But non-ethical actions can include four broader areas. An example of unethical behavior in the information system that we can include is a computer programmer, unknown to her present boss, who was searching for new employment. She kept copies of lists and reports of services that she had written for her workers, and she used certain examples of their work at times when she was not noticed. In a situation where she understood that no direct harm would be done, she gave a potential employer the details as part of her explanation. However, she also showed them to another potential employer who acquired substantial experience that gave him a competitive advantage over the employer of the programmer. It's illegal and immoral if contravened by the law and therefore has serious repercussions, including jail and large fines. For example, the world economy spends several trillions of dollars per year for computer crime, criminal activities in which computers are the primary weapon. Another example is Company A buying software from Company B, which is Company A make an agreement. They need to sign a contract so that Company B needs to maintain the system within 2 years if any problem regarding the usage of the system. But Company B did not fulfill the requirement of agreement. This shows that it is illegal to not following the agreement, and it is also unethical because Company B cheating to Company A. An illegal activity is easily detected by deviating from the regulations of the governing body specified and defined. Unethical conduct is a little difficult to spot since there are no ethical conduct rules. In addition, unethical behavior relies on interpretation. For one person, one act may be unethical and completely honest.
Now I will present the third element, which is legal but unethical. In this kind of situation, I am sure that everyone knows about it, even it doesn't seem obvious. But you know, what's legal is not always ethical, right? People might say that what they do is right, but some other way it can be unethical behavior. Legal but unethical brings a lot of examples that we can see around us. Okay, now I want to ask you, how much have you heard anyone say, oh, it's not illegal. The phrases is sometimes used to justify an action that is morally dubious, but not explicitly forbidden by some kind of law or regulations. Yeah, I know that there have a rules and regulation in this country, but the rules and regulation are in the place to protect and encourage the role of society. But somehow, we might tend to think that laws are based on the moral convictions about what is right and what is wrong. There are many notable examples that challenge the perception that the law extends from the moral value to moral behavior. For example, some situations are immoral but they are perfectly legal. Here, I will provide a few examples of legal but unethical situations. First of all, if people don't tip at a restaurant, it's not illegal actually, but it seems like unethical, especially when they give a good service to the customer. Now, let us set aside the cases of unscrupulous legislators passing laws solely to favor themselves or their mates. In all valid cases of lawmaking, the legislation has always a moral purpose, which generally just to make people's life easier and safer. I give you a few simple examples. Many forms of lying are perfectly legal, right? But lying is widely regarded as immoral actually. Other than that, breaking a promises is usually legal, but commonly it's considered to be immoral. For example, cheating your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend is legal, but it's unethical. Though the law against it is made more upheld by the violations and so on. Another example is where there are some areas where smoking in the public is legal, but some may consider it as disrespectful and unethical. And yes, if you want to maintain that what is legal is also ethical, you have to bite a lot of bullets and recognize as ethical a lot of actions that you really don't want to embrace. So, that's a few explanations on this topic of discussions. Thank you.
Next is about expected impact of the multimedia presentation. There is an impression that viewers will have after watching our presentation video. The first is viewers can increase their knowledge of current law and ethics around us. The second is viewers can also find out what is illegal and unethical in the IT world, where they always hear about this problem. Next is in our presentation video also explain mistakes that should not be made in organization, especially in the IT field. The viewers can identify the right and wrong in the legal and ethical aspect. As we know that predetermined law needs to be obeyed, which the law in our country, we should be more careful in taking action. Next is viewers can more disciplined and ethical in that they may think that violating ethics is an unreasonable and immoral act, and this will train them to be disobedient in the future. In addition, viewers will be more responsible after watching this video. This is because viewers will be aware the breaching ethics is inappropriate. They should be more afraid of doing something that is unethical and illegal because it could affect the future. The last one is viewers can also change the attitude of those who have been doing illegal and unethical activity in the organization for the better. So, with this change in attitude, a successful organization can thrive.